when to cite and how to cite in text practice. Now, citations are a bit subjective. When you cite depends a little bit on what you knew coming in. Basically, you can't really be wrong because the reader doesn't know what material you knew before going in. We use citations to guarantee that our reader knows that we didn't just make this information up. So these we're going to practice. With the improvements in transportation, 25% of farmers' products were sold for commercial gain, and by 1825, farming became a business rather than a way of life. Should you cite this, yes or no? Definitely you should cite this. Now notice the period comes after the citation. So the period will come after the citation. Trade and transportation thus began to influence farming life significantly. Should you cite this, yes or no? This sentence does not need a citation. Now, if you wanted to put a citation because you want your reader to know that you took this information from a source, you can. You wouldn't be wrong, but there is no need to cite this information. Before 1820, the rural community accounted for 80% of consumption of farmers' goods. Should you cite this? Yes or no? Yes. The technology farmers used around 1820 was developed from three main sources: Europe, coastal Indian tribes in America, and domestic modifications made from the first two sources' technologies. Should you cite this? Yes or no? No, there's no need for a citation here, but this one is a bit tricky. This is your thesis statement, and you never have to cite your thesis statement because it is an original concept. So you don't need to. Now, if you got this one wrong, I'm sorry, but because you might not have known that this was a thesis statement. Part of Nicholson's hope was realized in 1837 when Michigan established their state university, specifying that agriculture was to be an integral part of the curriculum. Should you cite this, yes or no? Yes. And remember, the period goes after the citation. Therefore, developments were made for knowledge to be transmitted and recorded by using print. Should this be cited? Yes or no? You do not need a citation for this. If you added one, that would be okay because you're letting your reader know where you got the information, but there is no need to cite this sentence. The increase in specialization encouraged some farmers to turn to technology to increase their production and capitalize on commercial markets. Should you cite this? Yes. Most of these refugees decided to reside permanently in Miami, and this resulted in a 7% increase in workers in the Miami labor market and a 20% increase in the Cuban working population. Should you cite this? Yes, this one's very easy. In 2009, Peters was convicted of 10 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of mail fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering, and 5 counts of money laundering. Should you cite this? Yes. And last but not least, my family disembarked on December 18, 1970. Should you cite this? No, there's no need.